Hey everybody, this is Hogan Brown with Loon Outdoors, and today I'm going to show you how to tie a pretty big topwater style pattern. I spent a lot of time on the river here locally in Northern California guiding and fishing for striped bass. One of striped bass's main food sources in the spring is American shad. As these American shad swim up the river, they're here to spawn. Shad are broadcast spawners, meaning the female is going to swim up to the surface, flutter out her eggs, and there's going to be a gob of smaller males around her to fertilize those eggs. This is a key to any striper within the surrounding county that there is some food right on the surface. And a lot of times stripers will show up and start smashing the smaller male shad. So this fly is designed to be fished in a frenzy or a topwater blitz, whatever you want to call it. It's in shad colors, and the idea is that this fly is, when it hits, it's going to kind of land and kind of sit in that top, kind of sit sideways as shad turn sideways and flop and spawn. But then when stripped is going to dive, okay, with that double barrel fish skull head turned around more as a diver style. So again, tie it in any color you want, tie it down in size, tie it up in size. It'll fish well for your bait fish patterns or frogs or whatever you got going on in your local waters for your big predatory fish. All right, let's get started. So the first part of this fly is going to be our hook. We fish an Eric's PR320 Predator Stinger hook, heavy wire, okay, in a 6/0, believe it or not, okay? So there's a couple reasons I like this hook. One is it's got a nice stiff shank, and I can build the fly, and the fly swims with this kind of stinger style bend in the manner that I need it to. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start this fly with my 140 white Vivus, kind of my staple big fly thread. I'm going to take a clump of pearl flashabou, take it, set it on top. And I try to keep this a little shorter than, say, my standard Clouser minnow. And I always have an example of the fly that I compare it to, just to make sure that I'm consistent with my lengths. So take this excess and I actually fold it back, giving myself a little bit bigger, flashier tail that's a little tapered. Take my vice pond, stick it onto that magnet, aptly placed on my Regal rotary vise. Then I'm going to take some white SF blend. Okay, this is the silver scale. Nice combination of UV white and a little bit of silver in there. I'm going to take it, spin that hook up, tie it right in, then kind of pull it back, remove the vice pond, pop it right down. For my top, I'm going to take SF blend or Farrar blend anchovy, okay? A little bit of this long strand, and I'm going to set this one right on top. Tack it down. And I'll actually take this, fold it over. At this point, I kind of start to eyeball. I want about even amounts of material on the top and bottom at this point. So I'm going to add a little bit more white onto the bottom just because it's a little uneven. And this is the beauty of these bigger flies, you can kind of add and subtract as you see needed. And one thing that's important about this is, you know, with shad, if you've ever seen a shad, it is wide to thin at a very sharp angle at the back. So this fly's got to have that wide profile all the way back. It can't have that trim angle that a lot of us associate with more of a standard shaped baitfish. Next, I'm going to take some gray snow runner. Okay, I'm going to take this, kind of find a nice clump. Take it, pull some of that fuzz out. Take it, set it right on top. Trim that excess. Turn the fly over. Take some white snow runner. Set it right on top. Pull it back. Splitting it around that bend. Okay, and as you can see, we're starting to make that kind of bulky, puffy profile that a lot of us know and associate with a shad. Wrap up a little bit. Take some more of that Farrar blend. Set it right on top. Again, fold that excess over. And with that, I'll kind of trim that a little bit to give it an angle. Turn that fly over. Take some of the white. Take that white. Set it on top. Tack it down. And then again, take that white and fold it over. And that's about the right length. Right there. All right, now at that point, I'm going to take some more gray, and you can kind of see the pattern here as we layer this fly up. And a lot of the layering of this fly has to do with the fact that we're trying to create that big, wide silhouette. Okay. Next, I'm going to take some more white. Pull out that down. Take it, set it right on the bottom. Pick it out, move it through and around. All right, at that point, I'm going to leave this gray. If you get a little caught up, that's fine. But I'm going to take it and I'm going to trim the white. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this pink SF dub. And this is basically a sight spot. You know, there's a lot of purples and pinks in shad if you look at them in the light. So it's kind of a good sight indicator color, but I'll take a big clump of it, fold it over, then take a nice just top cut, okay? Because you want that kind of sight spot. Tie it right in on top. It's going to give you something to see. Trim that. Then I'm going to take this big fuzzy clump here, and I'm going to take scissors and even it out. I'm going to take that and pull it back. Just like that. What that's going to do is this is going to kind of almost create a Dahlberg diver kind of frame. You know, you can come in here and throw some UV clear on it and firm it up if you really want to. If you want more of that bass style, you know, chug chug pop. I'm going to tie it off just to cinch that in. Then one of the last things I'm going to do here before we get to the actual head is I'm going to throw a little couple hackles out the side. You know, what's a popper without some hackles? So I just pull two, and I'm going to want these turned out to give it a little bit of push maybe. Tack it right in there, clip it off, take my other one, measure it up. Tack them in. Now, at that point, work my thread up, lay down a thread base, tie it off. Now, take some flow, UV clear fly finish flow. This is our thin, it is flow like water. And start to coat, clean the nozzle. Coat it just around all that to secure it. Hit it with the infinity light. Lock that all in. All right. Now, take my double barrel popper. Okay, they come with a hole right down the middle. I'm going to take my bodkin and I'm going to stick it right through that hole. Make sure it's centered. If I miss it, pull it out, try a different little angle. No. Come out. Okay. Now I'm going to use that hole as my guide as I take my precision tip scissors, cut right down through that. Now, since this is such a big fly, I'm going to take my precision tip scissors and angle my cut. So I'm basically going to cut a triangle out from that slot. And this is by no means an artistic endeavor. This is just hacking away. But ideally, what we're going to get is a little trough with a nice little slot down the middle. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take that, kind of eyeball it, set it there, okay? First thing you're going to do is kind of, I look and I go, it needs to come down a little farther. So I'm going to take a farther cut. and set it right there. Okay, see how that'll come right over almost the entire thread. Give it a nice down angle like that. That's going to give you that nice diving action when done. So I hold it. I don't want to squeeze it. I just nicely hold it there. Then I'm going to take my flow and put the first sealing coat in there. Let that bake in there. Loosen, let up on it. Then let it bake. Check that. Then, what would any fly, baitfish fly, be without a little hot red? I'm going to take this. I'm going to fill in that area with hot red UV fly finish. Little flared gill, little gill palette. If you want, you can throw some white over the front to make it really kind of sink in. Give it that kind of true back gill spot. And I really cook this. Then I'm going to take my UV fly thin, which is going to allow me to build up. Wrap around that hair, fill in that trough, and then give it a nice another cook. There you go. Now, for durability, you can do a couple different things. You can reinforce any of this that I've done with resin with super glue. For me, I use the resin because it's quick and it's easy, and 9 times out of 10, when a big fish eats this, it's going to shred and destroy the fly to the point where I'm going to have to make repairs in the boat anyway. That's why I always carry some flow and thin in the boat. Hunch over, little shade. Repair it, because obviously if you just dump it out and the sun's out, it's going to get cooked. Repair it, and back in the game. All right, good luck out there. Like and subscribe, comment if you feel like it, and tie a few up of these and go chase some fish. I'm Hogan Brown with Loon Outdoors. Have a good day.